Welcome, buenos dias. We're glad you're here today. We are about to celebrate the 80th birthday celebration of this building, the John A. Kooken Education Center. We are a preschool and now a thriving early childhood center. I know it's been many things before, very important things before in the past, but today we are an education center. So I want to go ahead and turn it over to the Madrigals. They are our opening act for the celebration.
Never win. Well, look at me, I'm coming back again. Connie Spence, the principal of this school, is an outstanding leader. Let's give her a round of applause. And you may not know this, but we also have community daycares where we send teachers to those centers. There's almost 20 of them, and Connie is the principal of those as well. So one more round of applause for Connie Spence. Thank you, Connie. So thank you all for joining us this morning. This is a special morning as we celebrate 80 years of a school. And I've had the opportunity as superintendent to celebrate anniversaries for schools, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I think this is the first 80-year anniversary. And I'll tell you that, yeah, so it's absolutely 80 years of a school. And I'll start by saying that as you walk into Kooken, you have a sense of history, a sense of what this school has meant for Arlington ISD, for the community, for so many years and through the years. I couldn't get down the hall as I was coming in without being greeted by people who have been a part of this school. In the 60s, 70s, have been part of this school. And they remember fondly the memories of the school. And they remember, most importantly, the people in the school. And today, that is the same situation. Kooken really is an example and a demonstration of love. Love that people have had for kids for so many years. So let's give the Kooken staff, and they're all wearing T-shirts, so you know who they are. And if you have somebody who's not a staff member wearing a T-shirt, then you became part of the family today. So all the Kooken staff, let's give them a round of applause. Because without a doubt, this elementary school, this education center, it runs because of the people that are in it. Today we have the great fortune of serving so many students, and over the years, over 80 years, many students have come through this facility. Some of it looks the same. We do that for history and nostalgia, right? But we also know that a lot has been added, a lot of different programs. I remember Dr. Spence when maybe a decade ago when TEA used Kooken as an example for the whole state in the way we provide education services for young people. That continues with community-based pre-K, etc. That leading the way continues at Kooken because of the people. So as we look today at Kooken and the students that are served here, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for Arlington. It's a blessing for the students and for the parents. I'll tell you that everybody who comes to Kooken and has been part of Kooken, they love this place. And as your superintendent, I love this place because it is a true demonstration of what it means to be of service to students, what it means to help students be successful. And of all of the noble things we can do in this world, to help students be ready for school, to help them introduced into a learning system, to be introduced at Kooken is a blessing. Because when they come here, they are loved. And they're loved every single day. And they grow and develop with us. So on behalf of your superintendent, our school district, I congratulate Kooken. I congratulate you, Dr. Spence, the staff, all of you who have worked here before, because they're staff members who came just to be part of this, who have worked here before. All of you who attended school here, thank you so much for pouring love into this facility, into the school, and more importantly, into the people. So congratulations on 80 years.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is an honor and a privilege to be standing before you in this facility. What an amazing place. What history here. Before I go further, I also would like to acknowledge and thank you, Dr. Spence, for your leadership. For those that don't know, that has been here since 1996, I believe. An amazing legacy. An amazing legacy. Thank you. I'd also like to say thank you to the Lamar High School for representing here today. The Madrigals, Tony Worley and Nelson Romo did a great job this morning. The children are wonderful. Our drum line out front after they were already celebrating a victory to have 9-0 for Lamar High School football team last night. Yes. Thank you to all of those students. And you know, the song, as Miss Worley said, I'm still standing. Kooken is still standing. Kooken is standing taller and brighter and more proud than ever before. And it is amazing the thousands of lives that have been impacted here. The future really does begin right here for our community. And what an amazing future we have ahead. And it is because of the love and the care and the hope that has been provided within these walls, and the participation from Dr. Spence and her leadership, to the staff, to the families, the parents, the engagement. It is just phenomenal. Thank you for all of you that have been a part of such an amazing heritage and history that we have here in Kooken. As Dr. Cavazos mentioned, this has been acknowledged as a leader in early childhood development and pre-K as a standalone pre-K center. That happened in the 80s, right? Late 80s, 88. We are just now, in recent times, at the state level, acknowledging the importance of early childhood development and pre-K. And we've been doing it here in AISD since the 80s. That says something. The district is a trendsetter, always on top, and the amazing things going on here at Kooken always sets the bar and the expectation high for everybody that is looking to what we're doing here in Arlington ISD, and especially here at Kooken. So for all of those tiny little lives that are impacted to now adults and amazing partners in our community and leaders here and elsewhere, on behalf of the board, thank you very much.
John Kooken moved to Arlington in 1908, 110 years ago, when the Arlington Public Schools consisted of 3 small buildings, 1 superintendent, 1 principal, and 10 teachers. AISD's grown to over 64,000 students. We have state-of-the-art programs in 21st century facilities. John Kooken was the first employee to have a building named after him in 1938, after the building had originally opened in 1907. So this land has had a public school on it since 1907. It was originally the North Side School, and it served grades 1 through 7. 1909, the building was destroyed by fire, having students meet in a cottage-type facility on this property. 1913, Mr. Kooken was elected the superintendent, retiring in 1937. 1937 to 63, Mr. J.L. Hill served as principal, and in 1938-39, this new building was built with a Works Progress Administration grant and renamed the John A. Kooken Education Center. 1941, Mr. Kooken published his memoirs. The 1950s, additional wings were added to the building. And then in 1963, a new principal came in, and I know I could stand corrected. We have some misspellings and some misdates, so I bet some of you in the audience can correct our timeline and the name, so please don't hesitate. 1963 brought in Mr. Kevin Cannell. Thank you, Mr. Kevin Cannell. And he stayed until 1972 when Mr. Melvin Smith came in. Mr. Smith stayed through 76 and led Kooken as the principal until it closed as a working school campus, and then it reopened as a diagnostic and materials center for several years. So then in 1988, Kooken Education Center reopened as a pre-K center with Dr. Joanne Rodman leading the pack. Dr. Rodman's no longer with us, but I was invited in to take her place, and I try to make her proud every day. So some of the accolades that you mentioned earlier. Kooken was recognized in 1993 by the Texas Education Agency's Promising Practices for parent involvement and was also awarded a Governor's Grant of Excellence by Governor Ann Richards. 2005 brought a second Promising Practice Award for integration of disabled preschoolers with non-disabled peers, parent involvement efforts, and teaching strategies for the diverse classroom. Our campus staff and the staff out all over the district use these practices today. I was named the principal in 1996, and I have to say I am the luckiest principal in the district. I have the most fun. So like I said earlier, many folks have researched the history of the building, and we found some discrepancies, some names and dates that may need to be clarified and confirmed, but I bet the visitors can help us with that today. Please don't leave without jotting that down in the back of a guest book. They're at both entrances, so if you can jot that down to help clarify, we'd love to have that.
Well, good morning. My name is Andy Nguyen. I'm your Tarrant County Commissioner, and as a member of the Tarrant County Commissioners Court, we are responsible for providing safety net services to the residents of Tarrant County. There are almost 2.1 million of people living in Tarrant County. And when I say safety net services, I'm talking about the juvenile court system, the juvenile justice system. I'm talking about the Tarrant County Jail. And part of my job is to regularly monitor the young men and women who have one reason or another, unfortunately, entering our justice system. And we have seen that number decreasing in the recent years. And it is because of work from the leadership here in this room, from Dr. Spence to my good friend Marcelo and Reich and the leadership in Arlington ISD. You see, we just can't build a big enough building to house all of the troubled young men and women. We just can't do that. That is not the solution. And because of leadership, the great examples of servant leadership in this room and throughout the city and throughout the school district, we have seen that number decreasing, and that is great news for us. That is great news for all Tarrant County. So on behalf of the Tarrant County Commissioners Court, I'd like to present a resolution to Dr. Spence and your staff. I'm going to read this again. It's going to say some of the things that you already said. But I think it's worth repeating, right? It's worth repeating because these achievements need to be glorified, right? And so the resolution, this is Arlington ISD Kooken Educational Center 80th anniversary. Kooken Educational Center was built in 1938 and is located on the original site of Northside School in Arlington, Texas. Originally called Kooken Elementary, the school was named after former principal and Arlington Independent School District Superintendent John A. Kooken, and J.L. Hill was the first principal. In 1988, Kooken became the only dedicated preschool campus in Arlington ISD and was under the leadership of campus administrator Dr. Joan Rodman. And then Dr. Connie Spence was named principal in 1996 and still serves in that role. Through the years, Kooken has earned several awards and acknowledgments, including recognition by the state in 1993 with a $25,000 Governor's Grant for Excellence by Governor Ann Richards. And the school was recognized again in 1994 as a TEA Promising Practice for Parent Involvement, which we all know is the key. In 2005, Kooken was recognized as TEA Promising Practice for integration of disabled preschoolers with their non-disabled peers. Again, a great achievement. parent involvement efforts, and teaching strategies for the diverse classroom. Kooken's committed staff has provided 80 years of outstanding education, and the school continues to be a leader in compassionate care and guidance for their young students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby celebrate Kooken Education Center on the occasion of their 80th anniversary and extend our appreciation for all they do in shaping the minds, and I might add the hearts, of some of our youngest future leaders. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 6th day of November 2018. B. Glenn Whitley, Tarrant County Judge, Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1, Andy H. Nguyen, Commissioner Precinct 2, Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3, and J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4. Thank you for all that you have done for us and our community, and congratulations.
Well, what an exciting day. And you know, we seem to be having a lot of those here with the Arlington Independent School District. You know, it seems like every month there's some new event coming on, a new accomplishment, a new step forward in education. So proud of Arlington ISD because this is such an important part of making our city a true American Dream City. And many of you may wonder about that tagline, the American Dream City. But what it means is that we want to give every opportunity we can to help each person's American dream come true. And of course, at the top of that list is education. And we definitely all want to be champions for education here in our community. We want our kids and our grandkids to have opportunities there to be able to realize their dream. And that is happening right here in our city because of the great job Arlington ISD is doing. And of course, Dr. Spence right here at Kooken is symbolizing that great success that's happening and innovation in education. And of course, the world is changing, but it is awesome that Arlington ISD is so innovative in moving forward and changing to help make an opportunity for our kids to have an incredible education. Well, another exciting day, as I mentioned, here in Arlington. And isn't it awesome how God has chosen this piece of land for many decades to educate our children and to do innovative things? And this is a big part of our history, but it's also a big part of our future now with the upgrades and additions that have been made. So excited here for Arlington, and yes, it is a great day in Arlington. Thank you.
Over the last few decades, I've been blessed to visit a lot of the schools, a lot AISD schools as well as UTA schools. I've talked to administrators, teachers, all right, work with them, work with the students. All right, it's been a fantastic journey. But one thing I've really learned, it's not the buildings, it's not the campus, it's not the facilities that make a school exceptional. It's the teachers, it's the administrators, it's the principals, it's the board, it's the city, it's the community, it's the students, it's their families, it's the alumni that make this school exceptional. And we have a lot of alumni here tonight. Who's alumni? Kooken. Wow. All right, welcome. But it's the true dedication of those people that make this school special. Those qualities, of course, are very much in abundance today. As you walk the halls, you'll see it. When I first walked into Kooken years ago and met Dr. Spence, I immediately felt the extraordinary excellence that was here. I heard and watched the children and the teachers, how they interacted. I saw the art on the walls. I saw the ceiling tiles that you've all seen today. Those spoke to me very loudly. Returning last May, to again honor the staff here, we had another Papa John pizza party. All right. And they like Papa John pizza here, I'll tell you that. But that's when the concept of everything's possible started. It really is. All right. And the name of this mural in front of you is Everything's Possible. Since then, Dr. Spence and committee identified the needs, like she said. And we organized that into a full-year, multi-phase series of projects. We all know that the arts, music, sculpture, paintings, stimulate the imaginations and enhances the learning opportunities of everybody that sees them, including students. We also know that it's very important that those students get exposed to that art right from the very beginning of their lives. They get it here at Kooken in pre-K. For that reason, Sharefest, Texas said, hey, we're going to weave art into the fabric here. Each mural that you see is a story that truly represents everything's possible. This career wall that you see in front of you, when we reveal that to the teachers, you should have seen the joy. You should have seen the tears when they witnessed that, when we revealed it. We can look forward to Kooken's 100th anniversary in 20 years and fully expect to see today's pre-K students as master woodcrafters, firemen, firewomen, scientists, astronauts, doctors, and policemen, and women, and heroes. If you look at the last policeman, the last mural here, this is a very special policeman. Her badge number is 2650. Her name was Jillian Smith. She's a hero. She stepped in front of an 11-year-old girl and sacrificed her life in 2010. I don't know how many of you heard that. We're very honored today to have Jillian's sister and mother with us today. And we have an APD officer, Sergeant Hewitt. I'd like you all to stand right now, please. And very definitely. Jillian served and protect, APD officer serve and protect. As a very special token to Jessica, don't sit down yet, Jessica. I'm the boss. All right. We have a very special token for you, and Rick will give it to you. All right. It's a little arts and crafts. Okay. It's an Everything's Possible. And it's a picture of that. So, all right. We recognize you for being here. We appreciate it. You've added a lot to this celebration. In closing, if just one pre-K student looking at these murals, looking at the Everything's Possible, becomes a scientist, a doctor, a teacher, a painter, a policeman or fireman, every drop that's on these walls becomes priceless. They are our future. And that's where our future starts here. So thank you so much for the opportunity to add to the ambiance of this school. It's been fun. I've done a lot of listening to Dr. Spence. And it's been an Everything's Possible, event. So I'll turn it back over to Dr. Spence. But I've got one more heavy moment, sort of. John Kooken had a brother in Ferris, Texas. His name is Charles Edward. He started a brick company in 1919. It was called Kooken Brick. All right. And they merged with Ferris Brick in 1923. Recently, old buildings at Scottish Rite Hospital were being demolished for the new buildings. This brick is part of the Scottish Rite's old building. All right, and it's got Kooken emblazoned in it. All right, and I had a neighbor who's got two of them, the only two he could find, and he gave me one for today's event. And Scottish Rite is a very special place for children. I think it's only appropriate that Kooken receive this brick. Okay. Because Kooken is definitely a special place for children. Thank you very much.
About a month or so ago, or a couple months, Dr. Spence mentioned, wouldn't it be great if we could find some descendants of John Kooken? And that sounded thrilling to me. I accepted the challenge and started digging, doing some research, and came up with the name and phone number of Dottie McInnes. And so it was really a thrill to pick up the phone and call her and let her know what was going on. And we were elated to hear that they were coming. They're from California, and so knew it was kind of a long shot, but we were really excited, and it has been a pleasure to meet them. Let me tell you first a little bit about Dottie and Kathy. Dottie was born in Denver, Colorado, and moved to California at the age of 13. She had one brother who died of brain cancer in his mid-70s. Dottie graduated from Stanford University with a major in psychology and also met her husband, Don, there. They raised a son and a daughter, and then she went to work for Tarbell Realtors in the relocation department, where she worked for 24 years. Dottie was raised in the Presbyterian Church and came to know Jesus personally through Bible study fellowship. She's very involved in the women's ministry in their church. Dottie and Don have 5 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren and feel richly blessed. Kathy was born in Alameda, California. She's also an educator and got her degree from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and her master's in education from Cal Poly Pomona. Kathy has 3 grown children, 2 boys and 1 girl. She is the grandmother, known as Cece, to 3 girls and 1 boy. She has a passion for kids and is a child life specialist at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital. And she said it's a joy to be here and feel the passion of the educators and the people here as well. So Dottie, I want to start with you. What was it like to learn about our celebration and our school that bears your grandfather's name?
To be honest, I was blown away because my brother tried visiting here before cell phone days, and he couldn't find the school, and he came back home and he said, I don't think the school is there any longer. So when I got the call from Mary, I know right where I was sitting, and I said, what did you say? And so I was totally amazed and pleased to hear that what has been accomplished.
Wonderful, we're so glad. Now, we had a chance to tour a bit of the campus last night and visit, so I want to ask each of you, in the time that you've been here, what has struck you the most? Kathy?
I think everyone's ears should have been ringing throughout the evening last night. Mom and I were just so struck by how much love we felt. We truly feel like we're a part of the family here. And I shared when we were together at dinner last night, having come from a family with just one brother, and my Uncle John, who died back in 2007, is the namesake of John A. Kooken. And he has 2 children, and they are my only 2 first cousins. I grew up just with a brother. My dad is an only child, and my grandparents were all only children. So I feel like our family has grown, and I think what has struck me the most is how lovingly embraced we both have felt.
Thank you. Dottie?
Yes, we just felt the warm Texas hospitality. As soon as we got here, and the love, we were just surrounded. And we were so impressed with the tour of the school and what has been accomplished here and how many children's lives have been affected.
Thank you. Well, throughout all the research, there was a common thread regarding the wonderful influence and respect that our community had for John A. Kooken and his integrity. He was held in high regard by everyone who knew him. And Kathy, last night you shared with me that you feel like you know the kind of man that John A. Kooken was through the example of your grandfather and your mother. Would you like to share a little of that with us?
I remember my grandfather as a man who just exuded love. He reflected the heart of Jesus and was compassionate, gracious, encouraging, and loving. And my mom embodies all those qualities and characteristics and then some. I think growing up and even now today as a grandmother, my friends, I think, have often expressed and have done so over the years how fortunate and blessed and truly lucky I have been, and I to have a mom like I do. And I think my mom is a living example that continues reflecting who the founder of this school, the namesake of our school, reflects. And I'm just so blessed that you are carrying on his legacy. But Mom truly is an individual who is compassionate, loving, gracious. And again, I believe that my great-grandfather, reading about him and knowing about him through my mom, she had the privilege of knowing him until she was 10 years old. I believe in many respects I have had the privilege of getting to know him.
Thank you. Dottie, will you tell us a little bit about your memories and recollections of your grandfather?
We came to visit every summer. And my grandfather, of course, loved children, and so I was really young. And some of the memories I have are he loved seeing me dress up in my grandmother's hats and gloves and shoes and that kind of thing. But he was always such a loving man. And I would like to have been closer to him because we only got to see him maybe two weeks out of every year for the first 10 years of my life. But I just have very warm memories of my granddad.
Thank you. So in getting to know you, it's really apparent that there's a passion for education that runs through your family. Kathy, will you tell us about that?
Well, I remember from the time I was very young that mom and dad held pursuing education in very high regard, and I've seen that passion for children and passion for learning in my mom, and also observed that in my grandfather, and Mom was a substitute teacher over the years, and I think that she planted that seed of interest in my heart in pursuing education. I became a teacher after graduating from college, and then went on to work in the classroom setting. I had the privilege of remaining home and doing a lot of volunteer work throughout our school district while my children were at home. And my career change in becoming a child life specialist now is translated into providing a lot of education within the hospital setting now. But I believe those seeds were planted very early on.
Thank you. Before we close, Dottie, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No, I am sorry that my grandfather isn't here to see all that has been accomplished, but I know how impressed and how honored he would be. So it's just a privilege to be here. We just thank you for inviting us.
Well, our correspondence has sparked a sweet friendship, and we're really glad to add actual Kooken family to our Kooken family. And we're so grateful that you made the trip to come. We'd like, before you leave, to give you each a Kooken t-shirt as part of our Kooken family. And we hope that you will extend to your families at home our love and appreciation and gratitude for letting you guys come and share with us today.
We'll stay in touch. We will.
Good. Excellent. Thank you so much.
I'm ready. I am set. Thank you.